What's going on, guys? So today we're going to be taking a look at some bulk and going over some prices and seeing, if we can find any hidden gems in here. I think it's pretty possible. I do have some older cards, probably from back in 2010, 15. We're probably not going to dive into those today, but yeah, I do want to cover some Paldean Fates and some Shrouded Fables. So we're going to just take a look into that and see just what some bulk cards are worth and if they're worth selling. And yeah, so let's just get to it.
Okay, so first up we got Persian Reverse Hollow from Shrouded Fable, and it is at 134. Let's see here. In March, it was about 157. Sorry, May 157. It's went down a little bit and then back up, but the highest it hit was 157, and that is ungraded. At a PSA 10, we're looking at $29. So probably not worth getting graded unless you know for sure that you got a PSA 10, and then you'll probably just break even anyway. All right, next up we got Furfro, and it is also a Reverse Hollow from Shrouded Fable. And we are also looking at $1.33. So it's really not bad. They're worth more than I thought, honestly. I mean, at $1 a card, if you sold 20 of them, it's $20. You could buy something to unbox if you're an unboxer, or just need some quick money there. I don't know. I don't. That's depending on how fast they'll sell. Obviously, and I'm an eBay seller, so if you are gonna sell on eBay, just make sure that you bake the fees in. Okay, so I would probably sell this card for around $2, and then I would charge shipping. I used to do dollar shipping, but I don't do it anymore because it doesn't provide a tracking number, and people will try to get you on it. If they don't see a tracking number, they will try to say they didn't get their card, and then they will not stop until you give them their money back. And then it's what you can't even you can't even fight them because you can't prove that they got the card. So I don't do that no more. So yeah, and pretty much people that are looking for cards like this, I feel like are going to be trying to complete sets, or they play the game. So all right, Sylveon Reverse Hollow from Shrouded Fable, ungraded. We're looking at $1.23, PSA 10, $36. That's not bad. We're down to 123. This card was actually up to almost $2 last month, 196. Before that, it's obviously went down. It was down, went up, now it's going back down. So yeah. Alrighty, probably not worth getting graded unless you get a PSA 10. It's probably like $30 to get it graded. Plus shipping, ain't gonna make no money if you try to get it graded. But all right, moving on. We're gonna compare that to the Sylveon regular here and see, because sometimes like, I don't know, it's hit or miss really. Like, it could be worth more than the Reverse Hollow. Like, so $1.25. So yeah, pretty much they're about the same, honestly. So, but at one time this was up to $2 as well. It's pretty crazy. But see, look, on this card, if you get a PSA 10, it's $40. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, why wouldn't the Reverse Hollow be worth more? That one might actually be worth getting graded if you know for sure you have a PSA 10. I mean, if you're just trying to like add it to your collection, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting bulk, regular cards graded isn't really my thing. I don't feel like a lot of people do it, but I mean, to each their own. All right, moving on, we got Exorasics Machinations from Shrouded Fable, and it has plummeted within the last month all the way down to 50 cents. It was at $1.24. The highest it's been is $1.55 back in January, and PSA 10 you're looking at $34, and right now you're looking at 50 cents. So yeah, pretty much not too great. I do want to do a lot of trainers though, and because I feel like trainers and cards like that are actually most of the time worth like more than the Pokemon themselves when it comes to bulk, because that's for like people that play the game look for cards like that. All right, moving on. All right, Crobat from Shrouded Fable, way down there, 27 cents. Last month it was at $1.19, so within the last month it plummeted about 70 cents. Before that, the highest it's been 143, lowest 85 until now. So PSA 10 you're looking at $32, ungraded obviously 27 cents, 9.11, 9.5 looking at 13. All right, moving on, we got Janine Secret Art. And this one's pretty good. Looking at $1.36 raw, 35.89 for a PSA 10, so not too bad. That's actually a lot more than I thought, and that's what I was saying. It's like the trainer cards are pretty good when it comes to bulk cards. All right, moving on, we got Dusknoir from Shroud of Fable, and it is 81 cents. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the holo. They didn't have any other option. They just had this one in the reverse holo. Which the card is a holographic. Highest it's been $2. PSA 10, 17, ungraded 81. All right, moving on. Blood Moon Ursaluna. We're looking at 80 cents. Highest it has been would be $1.59 back in March. And PSA 10, you're looking at $21, ungraded 80 cents. So yeah, not really a lot going on there. Didn't really expect there to be. All right, moving on here, we got Okidogi EX from Shroud of Fable, and we are looking at $1.70. So see, that's what I'm saying, which I know this isn't kind of really considered a bulk card, I guess, but it was in my bulk pile, so I just went ahead and did it, and I thought it would be a good comparison. So I think we've already looked at cards that were almost $1.70, and this is an EX, which is like fairly, if you look at that compared to a regular bulk card, you would think that it would be worth a lot more, but it really isn't. So, yeah, not too far off. The highest this card's been is worth $2.18 back in September 2024. All right. PSA 10, you're only looking at $25. Now, Night Stretcher, I know, is one that is like known to be worth a little bit more as a bulk card, which, yeah, it's pretty good. See, back in July, it was almost at $3.70. Right now, you're looking at about $2.37, and for a PSA 10, $41. So that's a lot more than that EX we just looked at, which is pretty crazy. I guess because it's like, really playable. Ungraded back in September 2024 was the lowest at $1.50. So even at its lowest, it's pretty much higher than like most of the cards that we've looked at. All right, next up we got Kuparaja from Shrouded Fable. This is just going to be a regular holo, and not bad, $1.33. So a lot of these cards are actually worth a lot more than I thought. I thought we'd be looking at a lot of like 25-cent, 17-cent cards, but a lot of them are well over $1. So yeah, not too bad, honestly. For a PSA 10, only $17. So yeah, not too hot there. But and the lowest was $1 back in November 2024. Yeah, not too bad for that. All right, so the reverse, you're looking at $1.38. So not much more. Highest it's been would be $1.64 March 2025, and the lowest $1.25. So not too bad. I mean, that's really not that bad. Next up, we got Zoroark Reverse Holo from Shroud of Fable, and it has recently just plummeted down to 50 cents. Highest, we're looking at $1.62 back in March 2025, $24 for a PSA 10, and we are currently at the lowest of all time for this card, so I don't recommend buying this one. All right, so we got the Zoroark regular holo, which is kind of nuts because it's 15 cents more. I don't understand. It's like you would think that the holo or that the reverse, the shinier the card would be, the nicer, but it's really not the case, especially when it comes to bulk. Highest, this card was at $2.36 back in September 2024, coming in at $30 pretty much for a PSA 10, $4.25 for a 9, $5 for a 9.5, which that's a pretty big gap from a 9.5 to a 10, 5 and 30, which I get, perfect. All right, we got Tapu Bulu Reverse Holo from Shroud of Fable. Man, these are pretty much crashing hard. We got 50 cents. A month ago, it was $1.43, so huge decline there. Lowest on the chart pretty much is $1.21. If you had this graded, you're looking at about $36 for a PSA 10, which I don't feel like that is bad. That's almost worth it to get it graded, honestly. For a 9, $12, and 9.5, $13. All right, moving on. All right, we're going to go ahead and compare to the regular holo, and once again, the regulars are crushing the reverse holo. So for the regular ungraded, you're looking at $1.15. PSA 10 though is not as much, coming in at $20. So I guess, yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know how Like the markets are just so weird. All right, we got the Haxorus from Shrouded Fable, holographic, and we're looking at $1 even. Back in January, it was almost $1.80, so pretty much almost $2. You're looking at $37 for a PSA 10. Not bad, honestly. Even at a 9.5, you're looking at 24. So that gap is not as big, or is not as wide as like most of the other cards. So if you do get a 9.5, you're not losing that much money. And if you get a PSA 10, depending on how much you paid, you probably make a little bit of money. But the leap there, I don't know if it's really worth it. All right, moving on to Paladin Fates. We're going to start out with the Reverse Charmeleon because I just really like that card. You're only looking at $1.09, $21 in a PSA 10. So yeah, I just looked at the Charmander and it was 50 in a PSA 10, which is kind of nuts. Yep, all-time low was back in April. Looking at 50 cents. So it's been up and down, honestly. You could probably buy this card for $1 and make it $1. Moving on, we have the Gengar. I like all Gengars. I'm just a big Gengar fan. And which you're only looking at 94 cents, but for a PSA 10, you're looking at $47. So that's not bad, honestly. And then even for a 9.5, 29, and for a 9.26, like 9, 9.5, and 10. Those are all pretty good prices, I'd say, for a PSA grade. But obviously ungraded, only 94 cents. All-time low, you're looking at $1.07. Well, nope. Actually, we're in the all-time low right now. So the last time it was all-time low was $1.07 back in April, and yeah. So let's go ahead and compare that to the reverse hollow. All right, reverse hollow, not bad. PSA 10, $89. That's like worth getting graded, honestly. Jeez. I mean, it is a cool card. I can kind of understand why, but that's just a bulk card. Like, that is just an uncommon card. So if you were to have that graded, you could honestly make a good amount of money. And I feel like people could have, this one's pretty mint. Like, this one would probably get a 10, honestly. I might have it graded. Like, that's crazy. All right, moving on to Haunter, regular, just plain old Haunter. Looking at $1.10 and $50 for a PSA 10. This is crazy. Like, you could probably get a bunch of bulk graded and make a lot of money. Really, like, I'm kind of thinking about doing that. But yep, all-time low, say back in April. Well, I guess March, but looking at 25 cents. So yep, pretty big leap there. It's been up and down though, pretty much like all year. Right now, it's pretty much at the support level, I'd say. But yeah, $50 for a PSA 10. That is nuts. All right, moving on. We got Magmar Reverse Hollow. Wow, not good at all. 15 cents. I would expect, like, I don't know. I feel like Magmar should be doing a little better than that. But that was just recently, within the last month, it has crashed almost all the way into the ground. PSA 10, you're only looking at $20, $10 for a 9.5, 8 for a 9. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend, trying to invest in this card. All right, we got Pikachu Reverse Hollow from Paladin Fates, and we are looking at $1.53. And you can always tell, like, the more popular Pokemon usually are always, a little bit more expensive. But the highest it's been is $2.47. For a PSA 10, you're looking at $46. So that is not bad at all. For a 9.5, you're looking at 22, and for a 9, you're looking at 20. Yeah, so not bad. And I like that card. It's a pretty good looking card. I like Pikachu. Who doesn't? Next up, we got Artisan from Paladin Fates, and not too bad, honestly. $1.29. It just recently went up though. All-time high from what I can see off of this chart is $3.09. PSA 10, you're looking at $35, 9.5, 13, 9, 12. All right, next up we got Technical Machine Crisis Punch Reverse Hollow. Pretty good, $1.43. PSA 10, you're looking at $35, 96 cents. PSA 9, 5, 13, and a 9 coming in at 12. All right, moving on back to Pokemon for a second. We have Lapras. A couple months ago, it was up to $1.41. Just recently crashed all the way down to 33 cents. You're looking at $34 for a PSA 10, $13 for a 9.5, and $11 for a 9. All right, moving on, we have Nemona, number 82, Pokemon Paladin Fates. This card was almost up to $4 back in April. It has plummeted all the way down to 57 cents. You're looking at $37 for a PSA 10, $14 for a 9.5, and $12 for a 9. All right, next up we got Namona's backpack, which I wonder what she has in it because it is worth more than she is. And we're looking at $1.65 for the backpack. And back in April, it was up to $2.62. For a PSA 10, you're looking at $37. 9, you're looking at $14, and for a PSA 9, 9.5, 14, and for a 9, 12. All right, next up we got Paldean Student. Raw, you're looking at $1.08 as of right now. It is at its all-time high as of right now. I wonder why. For a PSA 10, you're looking at $34. For a PSA 9.5, you're looking at $13, and a 9, you're looking at $11. All right, next up we got Moonlit Hill. This is the cheapest card that we've came across, coming in at 5 cents. And back in October, it was all the way up to $1.42. The all-time high is $1.59. So since April, it has crashed all the way down to 5 cents. For a PSA 10, you're still looking at $31, though. That's not too bad. Still, that's like a break even. And if you did get a 10, if you're looking at a 9.5, you get 11. 9, looking at 10. All right, coming up next, we got the Nest Ball, number 84, Pokemon Paldean Fates. You're looking at about $1.10 for this card. Not too bad. Back in March, it was all the way up to $2.23. Since then, it's been up and down. So it's probably going to go back up. Not obviously too high, but for a PSA 10, you're looking at $35.54. For a 9.5, you're looking at $13. And for a 9, you're looking at $12. But all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. I had a lot of fun doing these videos, and I think that it is pretty interesting to keep up with the bulk, so if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one.